Okay. Don't start yet. I just didn't want to. I wanted to just make sure that we weren't waiting on them. And they were
is the community versus Wizards of the Coast. They have each sent forth a champion for the feature match here. All right, and it looks like they are jumping in here. And we will be jumping in as well. All right, so we are ready to go here. And Paul Cheon.
Oh, nice. I would say good luck, but I would be lying.
Paul Cheon. Paul embracing the ethos of being on the community immediately. I see. There have been quite a few called shots in the history of the Community Cup as well, with Wizards laying down some big threats and not backing it up generally. And
wow, that Swords to Plowshares is going to be really good if Paul can draw white mana. You see Paul's deck, right?
Does he even keep this? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's 4 spells, 3 land, and the spells get better later. He can cast an Ophidian on turn 3. He can cycle Radiant Judgment if in a pinch. Yeah, I think that's a keep for Paul.
Oh, so Radiant Judgment cycles for 2 colorless, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, and you see Worth, he's got Deathblade Elite. He can curve that into Phantom Nomad, into Harrier. It's a pretty solid curve for Worth.
Ooh, and we got there.
The white mana is huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal here.
Turning on that Swords to Plowshares is particularly good.
This is going to be interesting. That was a big draw for Paul Cheon because it looks like Worth is going to have a nice aggressive curve here with 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and then probably 2 2-drops on turn 4. Like, this is about as curve-outy aggressive as you can be.
Yep.
So Cheon's
going to Paul wait, or does he go ahead? Okay, he's going to cycle Radiant Judgment.
Finds
into Repel. That's solid. And
but
here comes Ophidian.
Yeah, he gets to play Ophidian here.
Ophidian is going to get... Oh, no, the pre can't actually kill it. Brilliant. He can put Brilliant Halo on Deathblade Elite, but it only gets to 2 powers. He can't actually eat the Ophidian with his Provoke combo. Nomad would be big enough to kill it, but...
Oh, is that a Parallax
Wave? Yes.
Holy smokes. This is a curve for Worth Walper, no doubt about it, but this is actually going to be an interesting spot for Worth here, because he's got to be a little careful, right? He doesn't want to get hit by an Ophidian.
And Ophidian actually holds off his team here.
Yes.
Like, he can't attack if he wants to play anything else.
Right.
He might just Gustcloak Harrier done? No, he's going to go Brilliant Halo on the Provoker. He's going to go Brilliant Halo on the Nomad. He's just a smash.
He just wants to hit.
This is just like, I am 3 power, hit you.
I mean, this does solve the main problem that Worth had, which is that he can't get through Ophidian. Ophidian matches up really well with Phantom Nomad.
He gets hit by Ophidian here, though. Is he going to chomp with Deathblade Elite?
God, I cannot imagine he's going to chump here, but taking a hit from Ophidian is like every Magic player's worst nightmare, but there it is. Cheon, and he draws a Swamp. Now, he's already played his land for the turn. It looks like he wanted to have Repel or Counterspell up. Yeah. I would assume that the Repel is going to hit that Phantom Nomad at some point here. It just seems like a nice target. You get a 1-for-1, basically a 2-for-1 out of it.
All right, Worth continuing to turn his creature sideways. That's clearly what he values here.
You would assume that he's not going to provoke. Yeah, he doesn't. So 4 damage. And is Cheon going to take it? No, he's going to go ahead and Swords to Plowshares. This allows him to leave up Counterspell this turn as well.
I like it.
Yeah, I like this play as well. I mean, you want to save that Swords to Plowshares for something that you really can't deal with otherwise, but he's got like Repel, Counterspell, plus he's got Death Grasp, and looking at Worth's side of the board, all white right now from Cheon's perspective, he's got to figure that Death Grasp can kill almost anything. All right, so there goes Brilliant Halo back to his hand.
The fact that Paul also got Counterspell up makes this a super mana-efficient turn.
Yes.
Like, Worth is clearly going to do something to stop Ophidian.
So is the play here for Cheon just to basically counter anything that can get in the way in Ophidian?
Anything that can block an Ophidian or phase out an Ophidian, as the case may be. Yes. Counterspell it.
Yeah.
Go away. I want to hit you with Ophidian, and I'm going to draw 2. If he's drawing 2 cards a turn, he can just...
throw...
Yeah, you throw a card at anything. Anytime you get to trade 1-for-1 and then draw 2, you're getting ahead.
Yep. Wow, and there's a Predatory Night Stalker as well. Now, he can't actually cast that. He's going to need a second black mana source to do that.
Yeah, eventually. He's got Repel.
Finds a Nightscape Familiar, which gives him Repel this turn as well. Is this good?
Yes. In fact, it is.
Wow. Now, is he kind of priced into using the repel? Like, you got to figure, since he doesn't have regeneration mana up, and this gets interesting. So here's Parallax Wave. Let's just see what Worth wants to do here. He's going to ostensibly get rid of the Nightscape Familiar on his turn so that Cheon doesn't get to untap with it and maybe go off and play 2 things or something. The Ophidian's a different story.
I'm sure Worth is also tired of getting hit by Ophidian. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, takes away both of Paul's creatures. Makes sense.
I mean, you said it. He wants to be aggressive. He is being very aggressive here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a big punch to back up this play.
Yeah.
And that Parallax Wave, those cards will come back.
Yeah, the way that these opening turns worked out, Worth's curve looked spectacular, but Paul was just able to take all the steam out of it.
Yep.
The Swords to Plowshares killed the 3-power guy. The counterspell let him hit. He got to hit with Ophidian twice.
Which really, what else do you want in life?
Yeah, just hit with Ophidian.
Yeah, just keep hitting with Ophidian.
Oh, Repel as a response to Brilliant Halo means the Elite goes to the top of the library, and the Halo would fizzle and go to the
Shelter!
graveyard. Yeah, Shelter's a nice one there.
Shelter's going to save that.
Sort of a 3-for-1. He gets to draw the card from the Shelter. He gets to keep his Elite in play, and he gets to save the Brilliant Halo.
And doesn't get to have something else. Yeah, he didn't get to have it put on top of his library as well.
Right. Yeah, he gets a
super
clean draw phase. That's about as good as Shelter can be in this format. And yeah, here's the Nomad. All right. Worth has that turn went well for Worth, about as well as anything could. I'm not sure it's enough, given that we can see Paul's hand is pure gas.
Wow, there's a Kezardrix as well.
Do you like Kezardrix in this format?
Nope. Sure don't. And I played my fair share of black decks in this format. It's fine, though. I mean, it'll do some work. He's just going to go with the Night Stalker. Really, he's fine taking out any of these creatures here. And Night Stalker is a terrible target for Parallax Wave.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Parallax Wave not going to be phasing out the Night Stalker.
Cheon casually has a sip of his coffee, just like, what are you going to do about this, buddy?
I mean, you just sack your bodyguard and shrug, right?
Yeah.
Is he thinking about sacking the Nomad instead?
Definitely don't like doing that. Bodyguard is really important given what we know about Paul's hand, but of course, Worth doesn't know that.
Yeah, Bodyguard, that's part of what he's there for. Suck up one of those Edict effects.
Tick-tock, Parallax Wave. Ticking down to 1 fading counter left as Worth draws nothing. He draws a Plains, which isn't going to do anything at this point. So Deathblade Elite going to provoke.
Yep. Trade, get the Halo back.
And now he gets the combo off here. Right? He has the combo you mentioned.
Phantom Nomad, so the way this combo works, whenever the Nomad is dealt damage, it loses a +1/+1 counter. So normally, it gets dealt damage twice, and now it goes from 2/2 to 1/1 to 0/0 and dead. But because the Halo is giving it +1/+2, once it loses both its counters, well, now it's a 1/2 that has the ability prevent all damage and remove a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah.
Well, now there's no +1/+1 counter to remove, but the damage is still prevented. So that Nomad is essentially immortal.
All right, Skywing Aven
can't die to damage.
Right, Skywing Aven for Worth here at least gives him some type of clock in the air. Remember, Paul's at 9, and Worth's going to be happy he kept that Plains in his hand because that's going to really just let him keep some type of threat going.
All right, well, he smashes the Nomad into Kezardrix, which...
So what's the reasoning there?
I don't know.
Because it won't die anyway. Like, if his plan is to try to kill his own creatures or whatever, that's not going to work. Uh-oh, I see him laughing. Might have been a mistake there.
Or a bluff.
Yeah, some type of bluff. All right, so Cheon's going to get in there because he knows he's going to have his creatures back when that Parallax
Yeah, it's an
Wave
Ophidian
goes
and a Nightscape Familiar under the...
Oh, man, he drew both. Is he just going to dome him with Death Grasp at some point here?
Yes, he is.
Is it for 11 right now?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 13. Yes, that's an 11-point Death Grasp looming. No, sorry, Nightscape Familiar. No, Nightscape Familiar doesn't help.
It doesn't?
It's not. It's neither a blue or a red spell.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right,
Funny.
and hopefully Paul does the old click auto yield because Manifold will
yeah.
throw a lot of triggers at you.
It does trigger twice a turn, even
Yeah.
when you don't need to do anything.
Right.
Death
Old
Grasp is
school
up to
design.
12.
So interesting.
Yeah,
to hear.
Manifold does predate Magic
Yeah,
Online by
yeah,
several years.
Yeah. So Skywing Aven is the interesting card now, because it's the only thing that can actually get through for damage, and it's not a great target for Death Grasp either. So Cheon actually is going to probably end up having to aim that Death Grasp right at Worth. And if he can kill him with it, great. But even if he can't outright kill him with it,
Yeah, it's
it'll
fine.
just change the race math enough
Exactly.
in his favor.
You see Ophidian got blocked by Phantom Nomad. Phantom Nomad is now at a +1/+1 counter, so it's down to 1/2, but again, cannot die to damage.
Right. But Worth has a plan. Beat down with Skywing Aven. Again, he doesn't know what Cheon has in his hand.
Yeah, no, this race probably looks winnable from Worth's seat.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he loses to a lot of things. Oh, wow. Mystic Zealot's really good here. He's at threshold, right?
He has...
How many cards in Pulse Graveyard? 1, 2, 3, I think 6. He might actually be 1 card short.
Yes, 6.
So 2/4 on the ground, but the next time a card goes to Pulse Graveyard, wow. It's almost a suicide mission for Nightscape Familiar here.
And now Worth has to try to decide what he has, but frankly, it kind of just doesn't matter with Worth having 2 blanks in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, Worth has to decide whether to block Ophidian or try to kill Nightscape.
Right. All right, he decides to block the Kezardrix. Now it's going to give Cheon another card, and it is going to be a Chainer's Edict. Interesting, Cheon also could decide just to do damage instead. All right, here's Chainer's Edict. And that's nasty. That's ugly. And Worth feels like he needs to keep his Skywing Aven as his only win condition. But unfortunately, that's also going to put the 7th card in the graveyard to activate Threshold for Mystic Zealot here, which is now a 3/5 flyer. So things looking terrible for Worth Walper here.
Yeah, no, this is the way Paul drew his deck up. If he can just trade cards early, stay alive. Because he gets into the late game, his cards are just more powerful than pretty much anything anybody else is going to do in this format. Yeah, I mean, Worth picks up his Skywing Aven, but he's basically dead now. Yeah, Death Grasp can finish him off. Picking up the Skywing Aven did trigger the Kezardrix. That was Worth's plan, by the way. Worth figured it's actually a pretty nice line. I like Worth's play here.
I like it too.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to take 4 from Kezardrix. You are not capable of hitting me for 14. You can only hit me for, what, 7, 8, 9? So Worth figures, I'll take 9, and then 2 Kezardrix turns. It's a smart line from Worth. He doesn't know about this Death Grasp, obviously. The Death Grasp changes everything.
And it's weird because I think that people forget a lot of times that that Death Grasp goes to players.
Yeah.
It's just not a card you expect out of control deck. Like, you don't expect to get fireballed, but there it goes.
Yeah, there you go. Paul
I think
Cheon.
you draw the card there. Okay, so Paul Cheon takes down the first game over Worth Walper. A nice game there, a good fight. Take a look at our players there.
Yeah, sideboarding probably not super relevant. Certainly see Paul looking at his options.
I mean, Paul does have some flexibility, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Worth is just kind of looking at what he's got. Worth does have a couple more brilliant. I think Worth took out a brilliant Halo. I mean, obviously so much removal there. It's can easily get fizzled.
Saw the Edict.
Yeah.
Which he gets it back with if he gets edicted, but still.
Right. Yeah. It's the instant speed removal that he's particularly vulnerable to. Oh, Armageddon would be really nice for Worth if he could draw that card.
Yes, especially
how good
because
is Armageddon in this matchup?
It's unbelievable because I mean,
3-color control deck that needs 7 mana to really operate.
And with some mana vaults on the battlefield that have been used up.
Yeah, Worth played a lot of Armageddon back in the day too. I mean, that was a very relevant card to Standard, sort of late 90s-ish. Armageddon finished second at the very first Pro Tour. The running joke, Team Dead Guy went to Nationals one year and played a deck they called a Wolpertgeddon.
Wolpertgeddon.
Wolpertgeddon, that's what they call. I I think you Armageddon with Morrow in play, actually, was the
Wow.
idea there.
So that you can start discarding?
Well, I mean, you have a handful of cards because you have no land.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting big creatures into play and then Armageddon to ice the board state. That has been a good strategy for quite a while.
All right. Looks like we are just about ready. All right. Yep. Play is underway for game 2. Paul Cheon versus Worth Walper. Worth checking Twitter real quick.
I suspect he's posting to Twitter rather than checking Twitter.
Maybe posting it, yeah.
Cheon can't keep that draw.
I think Rosewater's
swamp,
in
no
another
way.
room watching this, feeding him information.
Whoa, look at you want to talk about the beatdown curve. Look at Worth. He gets to go
yes.
turn 2 Trooper, turn 3 Imperial Armor.
Wow. So edict or no becomes
Pretty
the
much.
question pretty quickly.
Pretty much.
And currently the answer is kind of. It costs
Yeah,
5
I mean,
mana.
Worth could take a turn off in order to play a second creature. I don't know if that's worth it or not. Like, it means his Imperial Armor's smaller. Sometimes you just got to go for it, right?
Yeah. This is interesting. Cheon decided to play the swamp instead of the
Second
Baron
Trooper.
more, even though he needs a second black, so it indicates
think
that
he's
he's going to be
cycling. Yeah, he's
cycling.
cycling.
I'm just saying that's interesting. Like he's going to need that black
Cycling
mana.
away the second black, which means he can't cast Night Stalker
Yeah.
until he comes up with a swamp.
What you
I
found.
think that makes sense. He's got so many turns
Yeah.
before he could be casting Night Stalker anyway.
Yep. And here's Nightscape Familiar.
What do you think? Imperial Armor?
Yes,
Slam it?
move it. Move in.
Move in!
Why do you play that card? This is why you play that card. Hit you.
He's going to hit for 5, and then 6, and then 7. He just will not play lands, won't play any cards. Plus X, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
He is asking a very simple question.
You got it?
Can you beat this? And Cheon is now moving into desperation mode. Looking and looking
Oh,
and
we're
looking.
sideboarded in Gilded Light. That's pretty good tech. It actually makes it so that if you respond to a Chainer's Edict or a Predatory Night Stalker, they can't target you to make you sack a creature. Oh, he's playing a creature? Really?
Well,
Does
this
that
is
change
we're
the
in
math?
combat
7?
here.
Wow, that's... Yeah, you leave up Gilded Light. No, he's...
Well, he
he's
gets
gonna
to
play
draw a
Harrier.
card, so it looks like the Trooper's still going to be lethal, right? 5. No,
Oh,
it won't
okay.
quite be. So he's just diversified his threats a little bit. He has given himself protection from an
From any
edict
edict
here.
effect,
Yeah.
that's true. Gilded Light would also have done the same thing, though. Could have left up Gilded Light mana. I guess that moves him all in. So anyway,
Wow.
Paul didn't have the answer anyway. That's what Imperial Armor does. Shadow
Yes.
creature, Imperial Armor.
No justice for Paul Cheon.
What do you mean no justice?
He had a perfectly reasonable curve, and he just got smashed in the face by a "Do you have an answer?"
Paul
card.
Cheon's perfectly reasonable curve consisted of turn 2 Nightscape Familiar.
Hey, he cycled something on
nothing.
turn 1.
Yeah, cycle, Nightscape Familiar, cycle. That is not a good curve in this format.
Yeah. Rude conception of justice, Randy.
I think I saw justice served there.
One of us
The
does.
3-color deck with the clunky mana base got punished by turn 2 Shadow Dork.
Fair.
Game 3 will be
Alright,
interesting.
so it looks
I mean,
like
Paul
we're
being on the
heading
play
in.
certainly helps him. He just needs time. Yeah, could look at Paul Cheon there.
Got
Modern is his favorite format. Definitely a popular Magic Online streamer. Haumph.
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 It's the sound he makes while he's about to eat. Looks like they're back in here.
And that's whether he's eating food or his creatures are eating opponents.
Yes.
Applies to all of the above, yeah.
Correct.
Turn 1 Mana Vault for Paul Cheon.
Which we can't quite see yet.
Wow, Worth has... You thought the Trooper Imperial Armor draw was good? Now Worth has Trooper Imperial Armor Armageddon.
Okay, well, you're going to have to keep us updated here, Randy, because right now I cannot see the screen. Only you can.
Sure. Cheon used his turn 1 Mana Vault to bust out turn 2 Killer Whale. So Soltari Trooper is going to just shadow by the Killer Whale.
Can we have them just stop for a second? No? Okay.
Yeah,
No problem. I was to say if we could just poke ahead in there and say, hey guys, just hang on for half a second.
They're playing timed though. Like,
Yeah, they're looking fine on time though.
that's fair.
This is game 3.
Wow, Worth
I'm logging back in to get it up anyway, but
Worth declined to play his Imperial Armor on turn 3, electing to play Phantom Nomad instead.
all right. So we're just watching Worth's screen right now, right? Just so
Yeah.
that people know. All right, and I'm bringing up the match that'll get us both of them.
Yeah, Worth
Okay.
played around counterspell, and you know what? He ran the Phantom Nomad into the counterspell. He saw blue on the other side of the table. You know what? Back in the 90s, we knew what blue meant. Blue meant your opponent had a counterspell, and his opponent did have a counterspell, so Worth played around that really effectively. Cheon took the bait, and Worth's still not going to risk the Imperial Armor here.
Is that Radiant's Judgment as well in Paul's hand? Yes. So it looks like Worth is going to go wide as opposed to tall here. He wants to get that Geddon going.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Imperial
his-
Armor is also nice for the Geddon. But then you look that Paul felt obliged to cycle the Radiance Judgment, which is now not capable of killing Imperial Armor. Worth left Shelter up here as well.
Yeah, this is interesting.
It's interesting how differently Worth has played these two games.
So what is Worth's
Kind of
ideal?
been right both times,
Yeah,
too.
what is Worth's ideal? Like, does he just untap Slam Geddon and just say, "I hope this works," or is he trying to like deploy his whole hand first? Like, how does this normally go with Armageddon?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, this seems like a good time after Paul strands a bunch of cards in his hand from Plea for Power.
Yeah, you let him draw 3, right?
Yeah, you just give him 3 cards
And then untap Armageddon.
and then just Geddon the living.
I think. I mean, the
heck
race
out
is
of him.
5 for 3 here. I think Worth wins this race, doesn't he?
I mean, his guys are unblockable, so it's 4, 8, 12, 16. He needs 4 turn clock here,
And the Mana Vault is kind of helping him.
and the Mana Vault will help.
So it's a 5 for 3. So Paul goes to 8, attacks Worth down to 8.
So it should be a 4
Paul
turn
goes
clock.
to 3, attacks Worth down to 5. Yeah, Worth wins this race.
Yes.
If he just Armageddons to kind of ice this board state. Now he must know.
Paul. Oh, and he played it too. So
Played the plane.
he kind of wanted to because he wants to get Deathcrafts going, but
Yeah.
now he's just going to get
Paul has no idea. I mean,
completely
Armageddon's
blown
rare.
out. Yeah, totally.
He hasn't seen it yet.
It might
It's
even
rare.
be a mythic or whatever, like the red thing, isn't it?
I think it's merely rare.
It's just a regular rare. Okay, but either way, we are going to see the full power of one of the strongest Magic cards ever printed, Armageddon. Here.
I mean, I think I would get in here.
Oh my! I couldn't wait. Do it. Oh, he's thinking.
He likes this board. He feels like he wants to leave up Shelter
Oh, I'm so
and make
sad.
more Shadow guys.
Okay, Shelter is a big pull though. Shelter says that Deathcraft doesn't just swing this race immediately back into Paul's favor.
Right.
Okay, I can see that. Shelter does change that a lot. I don't think I could resist because
yeah.
I had Paul tapped out and I don't want to
Right.
get it countered.
Tapped out with a grip full of new cards.
Right. Yeah, so here we go. Now the
Wow.
question is he's aiming it at Worth.
He's playing around Shelter.
Yes.
He saw Shelter in the last game.
Yes.
But you know what that doesn't play around?
Gilded Light.
Look at Paul!
Oh
Look
my
at Paul!
God.
Spectacular! Oh, that's priceless.
Wow.
Worth with the smirk.
So
That's
Worth had Shelter
awesome.
and Gilded
He
Light,
had
so
them both.
just had it all.
Paul played around the one he saw last game and ran into the one Worth sideboarded in.
Worth says, "Welcome to the '90s, kiddo," and he's going to give him a big welcome here, potentially with the Geddon as
Imperial
well.
Armor's lethal.
Watch this.
No, you Imperial Armor.
Boom!
Imperial Armor for the win. He literally threw away an onboard kill
Yeah, he did.
just to get off Walper Geddon.
He did. I respect that. That was great. Oh, and pure justice, Cheon draws future sight too. Just completely uncastable. Wow. Jeez.
Worth Walper, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him.
Rust? What rust?
Big smile on his face. And Cheon, and this actually starts to get interesting. Remember, if you look at the community team, Cheon is like probably the best player on
He
the
has
team.
their best resume.
You know,
I mean,
yeah.
Tom Ross has also been on
Tom
fire
Ross is
lately.
fantastic, yeah. But I mean, if you just look at it based on results, it's got to be Cheon. He picks up a loss right away.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's got a lot of pressure on him to do it. I know that most Community Cup teams sort of end up with this sort of de facto best player / leader, and they have to carry a lot of the weight as far as wins go.
That was awesome. Worth was
And this is a bad beat story incoming from Cheon. He's like, so I played around Shelter.
words.
I played perfectly. That's going to cost you $1. Yeah.
But Worth is like, I remember these cards. These are the cards I was playing with in the 90s.
All right, let's take a look at what BDM has going on over in the red zone.
So we've got an Erin near mirror match in terms of names, but this is going to be Aaron Forsythe versus Erin Campbell, and I've got it going here. And Aaron just, him to Torak, and just is going to have another him to Torak, and then his next turn is just going to be disgusting. While Aaron's cycling and trying to find some cards, Black Lotus into Laquatus' champion. Oh my gosh! I can. Can
you go back to the beginning of that?
Yeah, I'm going to go right now. Yep. Okay. We had a couple exciting games. Frank Leapor had an exciting game with coming back from a pretty brutal early game from Matt Gregory.
Yeah?
Which is another game we've got queued up ready to take a look at.
Oh, here we got Dave Humphreys against Mariah. Looks like Hump's got the cycling deck.
No.
That's the game Marshall's watching.
I like the Ivory Tower Lightning Rift.
Nice.
Here we go.
Here's the red zone camera.
Yeah, this is
awesome. Yeah, step us through this. So this is a replay of.
So yeah, this is Aaron plays a turn 2 Nature's Lore, but Aaron Forsyth has a turn 2 him to Torak.
No cards for you. It only hit Forest. That's not that bad. Right?
And then she cycles for Forest. Oh, and then another him to Torak. Wow! Wait.
She's got one card left.
Wait, there's more.
Cycle.
Here comes Aaron.
Black Lotus? What is he doing? He opened Black Lotus?
Yes. Probably in pack 3 as far as I can
drafted
tell.
this format 75 times. I never opened Black Lotus. Crazy.
This is hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aaron Forsyth is
paralyzed the wild mongrel.
Yeah, that was brutal.
What a mean person.
Yeah, and
Aaron's
champion?
Aaron's got some griefer in him.
Oh,
I know he does.
All the griefer cards that come out of R&D are like, why would they print this? It's just mean.
Right, and then you hear Aaron
Those
go,
are Aaron designs. Yeah,
Aaron in the back corner there.
Just
And Aaron basically did the
background.
same thing in game 2.
So Aaron won that match?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. The Wizards team. So that's 2 Wizards team wins. You got anything where the
I
community cup
do have a community cup win. Frank Leapor.
You're right. I'm still the WotC guy in my heart, aren't I? I'm enjoying this too much.
Your smile is way too big for. Hey, the Wizards team's winning.
Frank Leapor ended up with a pretty big win for the community team. Although if you watch the early turns of game 1 here against Matt Gregory, it did not look like he was going to be able to get this. And here's the game, and you watch Matt Gregory on top, just comes out really fast this game, and nothing going on for Frank.
He declined to play a land on turn 2? No, he played it post combat. Okay.
But and then a turn 3 Blastoderm. Yeah, I mean just. All right.
Frank wins this game. How does Frank win from here?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm counting the matches right now, and I think I see that Wizards has won 5 of the matches so far. Holy smokes! And they're up a game in the 2 left.
So it's 5-1?
Yes. So it is Frank Leapor is the only one from the community team to have won in their first round.
I'm still not convinced Frank wins, for the record.
And you would not believe that happens from this position.
Yeah, seriously. He's down to 4. End step grunt, okay.
Wait, he wins this game?
Yeah.
How the heck does that happen? Aether mutation?
Repel.
What happened to the grunt?
He repelled it.
Oh, he repelled the grunt.
Now he hard casts Roar the Worm.
Oh.
He front ends it.
That helps.
And then, yeah, the back end's a little easier.
And then a Sea Drake.
Holy smokes, that was a big turnaround. Wow. He was almost dead a turn ago.
Yeah, Matt's like, and then he front ends another Roar of the Worm.
Oh my goodness. I would have shipped with that worm token. Get in there. Thing's lethal.
Yeah, so that was a pretty...
Yeah, so Frank has the only win for the Community Cup so far. By the way, the 2 matches that are ongoing, WotC's up a game in both of them. Humphrey.
What is happening here? This
don't
isn't
know.
how this works.
Well, I mean, look, Vintage Masters has to be the format that plays the most to WotC team strength. I mean, think about it, right? Worth was playing Magic back then. Mike was on the Pro Tour back then. Aaron was top 8 in
you're
Pro Tours
right.
back then. Like, these cards all predate the modern format, right? Vintage Masters, these are cards from the late 90s. This is what these guys played when they were at the peak of their games.
I did not think of it like that. You're right.
Yeah.
They set it up. This is a setup. What a sham.
I
It
don't
was
know
an
about
inside job.
I mean, Helene's deck, Helene was not playing a lot of was not top 8ing Pro Tours in the late 90s.
We can take a look at Mariah Pagliocco versus Dave Humphreys.
Mariah's deck is pretty filthy.
Yeah,
She's got the Goblin deck.
Yeah, she's got a Goblin General and 2 Skirk Drill Sergeants right now.
Those are good cards, but I see Jareth turned sideways and 2 Teroth's Faithful in play. That cannot be good for the Goblin deck.
Also an Ivory Tower.
Just the 1/4 gain 4 life part of Teroth's Faithful is already good enough to often hold off a Goblin Swarm, but Dave's got a cycling. There's no Astral Slide in play. Okay, I see the Lightning Rift. Like, often that card being in your deck is a sign you have an Astral Slide, and you can just start cycling it out, gaining life, cycling it out, gaining life.
I have been on the bad end of that a few times, and it is not fun.
Yeah, Humphrey's on 19 and attacking the Goblin player, and he's up a game.
And sitting quite safely in his tower.
Sitting quite safely in his tower.
Yeah,
3 cards in hand. The tower's not actually doing anything.
It's not doing anything, but it could if he wanted it to.
And
This
there's
is
an
not
L in
great.
Mariah's last name.
Deathblade Elite can even snipe that Goblin General.
Yeah, it sounds like Humphreys does in fact have Astral Slide in his deck, just not in play right now.
Yeah, he's got to. This looks like a classic.
Yeah, this is the Rift Slide deck. This is definitely one of the archetypes. You know, you kind of need the Rift and the Slide are both uncommon, but if you get either of those, there's plenty of cycling cards. You can build a pretty solid Rift Slide deck.
So
Some people think this is the best archetype in the format.
I've heard that too. I don't agree.
I enjoy green-white auras more, and like a good Goblins deck I think is better, but it's certainly one of the things you have to be aware of in Vintage Masters, is that somebody's going to show up with Lightning Rift, Astral Slide, and a bunch of cyclers.
This is interesting blocks. You got to figure that something's going to get cycled here.
Well, I mean, what's Mariah going to do? Not attack?
No, I'm just saying the block. Like, is he really chump blocking with Deathblade Elite here?
No, he can pay 2 mana to prevent all the combat damage.
Oh, right. So he's just fogging it. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
He's willing to take 2 and kill a Skirk Drill Sergeant.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Why do you think he didn't block the General?
Yeah, he's double blocking the Drill Sergeant rather than the General. I think that he's worried about the Drill Sergeant's activated ability. Like, he wants to kill them so that they're not constantly spawning triggered abilities and letting every dead creature go fishing. Like, look, if she
does have 6 mana.
She's got 6 mana, so she gets to activate both Drill Sergeants, revealing the top card of her library. If it's a Goblin, it comes into play for free.
Interesting.
So he's willing to let the Goblin hit the General survive another turn. That was a Mountain.
Mountain.
See what the next one is. They go to her revealed zone.
I think
pair of mountains.
Boo.
So she whiffs on the Drill Sergeant, and now Dave has figured, well, now I'm down to 1 Drill Sergeant. Now it's only one fishing expedition per creature kill. Jareth can continue to turn sideways.
All right, it's time to get aggressive here. I wonder if he'll just trade that Deathblade Elite off for the Skirk Drill Sergeant here. He's got her tapped out now, so there will be no activation.
Yeah, that's a smart play.
Yep. Meanwhile, take 6. That's half your life total, and I'm going to leave you with a 1/1.
A Bear Goblin General.
Yeah, that ain't going to get her done.
This looks like win number 6 for the Wizards team.
Yeah, this is getting... did not expect this. Well, Spark Spray, too, just... Jeez.
Scott MacCallum, by the way, did he cast the Spark Spray rather than cycling it?
He did cast it. He killed the...
You can kill it with Goblin Lightning Rift and draw a card. Maybe he did that. He's got 2 mana tap. That's probably what he did. Scott MacCallum is on the board against Helen Bergeau, though. That's the last match other than this one.
All right, and that's
looks
when
like
you
they're
have...
going to
No, I have just a replay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to the red zone for a replay maybe while you...
Yeah, why don't we do that? This one looks like the writing's on the wall here.
Look away.
Yeah,
look away. See if we got anything on the red zone camera. And yeah, Marshall, you can pull up Helen and Scott.
All right, everybody. I have a little matchup of the TomTom club here. Tom Ross and Tom Lepore.
Our second, we had an Erin
Aaron, but this is this is a full-on mirror TomTom. And this is their game 3. So we can just you got Tom's on top there. Tom Lepore's
Tom's
on
on
top.
both top and bottom.
Yeah.
Ross,
So
so community team attacking with his Goblin Patrol. Okay, Phantom Nomad from Lepore.
Yeah, more of those skirt drill sergeants, and then Wild Mongrel for Tom Lepore struggled with his mana in the first game, but the last 2 games his deck looked really good. Where are you on Miss Moon Griffin, Marshall? That seems like a very value-y card.
It's fine. Yeah, I don't love it. I think it's fine, though. That's a card I like.
Quadruplicate Spirits.
Little higher on that quadruplicate spirits. I'm higher on that white.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but the Miss Moon Griffin was getting killed, and Tom Lepore discarded Jungle Worm to Wild Mongrel to get Jungle Worm back into play off of the Miss Moon Griffin.
Apparently, Tom Lepore hasn't figured out the right-click attack with all creatures button yet. But, one of my favorites.
Yeah, Lepore looks like he's got a pretty solid green-white. I mean, I see a Battle Screech. I see an Armor of Thorns, which makes me think there's probably some other stuff. The Mongrel. Looks good. Yeah, Ross is into...
Yeah, Tom was like
Preparations
red-black
for
goblins.
We have our other match is just finished.
Oh, let's have Brian see if he can go to the... pull up that game
Maybe
3.
you can bring that one up,
Sure.
Brian, after... We'll just take a look at
Helen
the
and
at
Scott
the room
MacCallum
for
just
now.
finished their game 3. We
Yeah.
won't spoil the result.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will tell you that before that one came in,
Yep.
we had Worth Walper, Dave Humphreys, Aaron Forsyth, Mike Turian, Tom Lepore, Ryan Spain all win their matches. Those were all Wizards team wins, with only Frank Leapor holding down the fort on the other side. So this is actually really important.
And then now this is game 3 between Helen Bergeau for the Wizards team and Scotty Mac for the community
Scotty
team.
Mac trying to stay at 2 wins,
Right.
BM. Like, that's all he's trying to scrap out 2 wins out of this VMA draft. This is a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, and Helen went down to, looks like 4 cards this game.
Oh, got it. Yeah, she's got 3 cards in her hand, and all she's done is a Chain Lightning. Her Goblin deck looked quite good. Well, Cycling Solar Blast is one way to get back into it. Kill a creature, draw a card. That's not bad.
And there's a Miss Moon Griffin and Spark Spray, the Deathblade Elite. Aftershock, the Miss Moon Griffin.
Yeah, that's not as good as she wants it to be.
Well,
what are you going to do? You got to plow through that Miss Moon itself.
I'd rather get. I think I'd rather get back to Deathblade Elite than the Benevolent Bodyguard.
Well, you get the top card. You don't get the side.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that I would rather on Helen's side. There's a Beetleback Chief.
Wow, yeah, she's totally in this. I guess Templar's big enough to both attack and block already.
Oh,
Radiant.
Whoa.
Is this gonna be a Battle Screech? Oh no!
No!
The combo
Flyers!
Radiant became a 6/6.
That will do it. So, community team on the board, second win of the round.
So 2 and 6?
2 and 6.
That is embarrassing. I like what you said, though. I like that excuse.
It's all downhill from here for Wizards.
No, that you said that, this really played into their strengths.
I mean, of the 4 formats, this one definitely seems like it favors Wizards the most.
Now, one thing, though, that I will say is, we talked about it in our opener when we looked at the Wizards team. Mm-hmm. They're kind of stacked, actually.
It is
like
better than the team Wizards. It's 4 guys with Pro Tour top 8s.
Yeah.
That's
2 guys who are Pro Tour champions.
2 Hall of Famers.
2 Hall of Famers.
Like, this is no joke. This was I don't think they came here to lose this one. Like I said, Ryan Spain, he's very solid. He taught me how to play. Like, he knows how to play Magic. He's no joke. Usually we see, like, somebody from customer service, and they kind of brought out the big guns here for this
customer
one.
service guys can play.
Oh, I know.
Matt Gregory apparently is like a PTQ veteran before coming to.
Yeah?
Like he's got Grinder in his blood.
Got it.
So they tried to slip him in, this is just the new guy.
Just a new guy. You've never heard of him, so he must be nothing, right?
Lepore's been playing.
And Lepore,
GPs before he got here.
That's
Pro Tour
right.
pedigree.
Yeah. No, it's also the other thing that I actually like the fact this year that the Wizards team is just these 8 guys. Like in the past, there's been this sort of stream of players that have sort of wandered through the team and it hasn't been sort of quite as coherent.
You know, I got to say,
Feels better
because
this
I
way.
thought that was cool to get more people involved from Wizards, but from our perspective here in the booth, it's so much better this way because we
Yeah.
get to kind of weave some narratives to see who's
Yeah.
doing well.
This
and,
feels
you know,
cleaner somehow.
this is cleaner. Yeah,
Sort of
I like that a
better
lot.
as a
plus,
spectator of
if
it.
you're some twisted human being who's at home rooting for Wizards, you can pick your favorite players and root them on.
How do you not root for the Wizards team?
Well,
Look at these guys. This is like I'm the Pro Tour historian. I curate the Hall of Fame. How am I not rooting for Mike Turian and Dave Humphreys?
They're also
I've
the
known-
underdogs. They never win this
Yeah,
event.
I've known
That is
Worth since
true.
he was a proverbial small child trading Lord of the Pits at my tournaments.
So
I'm
you
sorry.
actually get to be in this seat where you get to root for the underdog that has 2 Hall of Famers, multiple Pro Tour top 8s. Must be nice.
Come on, you've been in the booth. You want this narrative to be that Magic is a skill game. Right? Time and time again. That's the story you want to tell.
No, the story I want to tell is how the community crushed Wizards of the Coast again.
Well, you need to get past the part where they're playing with cards from the late 90s.
I
That's
think you're
step
right.
one.
I think that cresting that particular hill will help things out significantly.
How do you think
Was Mariah Pagliocco born when these cards were published?
No way.
Right.
How do you think the Wizards team will stack up on there's a huge catch-up in this if you are very flavorful.
I was about to say the same thing. The Iron Root Chef is going to be huge.
I was trying to console myself on that and say, well, we'll get him there. But Forsyth is a beast when it comes to flavor. He's insane. He will come up, and I don't.
Yeah, but
we haven't
it
gone
is not
over
played to Mike or Worth's strengths.
right.
Those guys are still a little spiky. They're just beat down,
Yeah.
aggro.
And it might actually be even a more arcane format for Helene.
Sure.
Who's both going to be grappling with English as a second language, Magic as a third language.
Sure.
Flavor.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
how that format actually works. For people I know, it was one of the best formats last year. We have an interview first? Even better.
All right, so why don't we set it down to an interview where Nate Price is sitting with Frank Lepore.
Incredibly comfortable Nate Price, one of the community managers here at Wizards of the Coast, and I am sitting here interviewing Frank Leapor. How's it going, Frank?
The equally comfortable Frank Leapor. It's going well. I mean, well is it's a relative term. I managed to win we just did Vintage Masters drafts. I won the first round, and unfortunately, many of our team did not follow suit.
It's all right, though. Scotty Max got your back, right?
Yeah, me and Scotty Mac were the 2 victors of that round. There's 2 more rounds, so I mean, I'm pretty sure we can pull it out, especially when some of our better players are in the unfortunately named losers
I had the
bracket.
whole late 90s
So
angle because it applies to
that's
me.
fine though. I mean, I got a wow from Paul Cheon in the background. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. It's literally like you lost a round, so this is the bracket you go into. I didn't want to say. Now it's real awkward.
It's not like it was really your guys' fault. I mean, there were some bad matchups. Day9 played against, he was playing the Green-White Enchantments deck and played against Ryan Spain's basically bounce deck. And Cheon is playing a deck that requires him to both target his opponent with spells and have lands in play. And his opponent, he's pounding his head. He managed to have both Gilded Light and Armageddon. Is it too soon for that?
Yeah, Worth had Armageddon, and it was surprisingly very hard for Paul to cast his spells after that. So, I mean, I guess I imagine he only saw it in Game 3 because if he saw it sooner, you probably play around it a lot easier. But yeah, it's a mythic, so it's hard to play around the mythics in the set.
But let's see this incredibly stylish T-shirt that you've got in front of you right here. TCG player, yeah. You got voted by a group of your peers, which I find just adorable. Because as someone who's known you for a while, I know you're a man with no peers. So, but you are here.
We have a good time.
But you're here as a representative of the community. You're the community manager actually over at TCG Player, correct?
That is correct.
So, what exactly goes into being a community manager? I'm asking for my own personal benefit because I'm also a community manager and have no idea what I'm supposed to do for my job. So.
He's really just winging it for so far. Basically, community manager's job is just interacting with the community, make sure everyone is well informed, making sure that they're engaged with your product, with your brand, making sure that basically that you're having an online presence, basically, and that everyone is. If anyone has any questions or if anyone needs information about something, then you can help them out. It's not a customer service position per se, but it's very similar in terms of like what you want to accomplish. So.
Cool. You also got an incredibly entertaining video series. I've actually heard multiple times during the course of the draft today people quoting lines from your video series. What are some of your favorite sound bites you've managed to come up with over the course of your Vintage Masters drafting experience?
Actually, it's during Vintage Masters. Not many during that, but there is specifically there was something I used to say when Flint Hoofbore was in the format. Whenever someone would play it, I would say like pig, 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 and just like fast in succession. And ever since then, people literally just say it to me all the time at events, or they come up to me with like pig tokens or boar tokens, and they say, "Can you sign this and write pig, pig, pig on it?" And so I've done that a ton, and it just comes up all the time. And Flint Hoofbore hasn't been standard for like a year and a half now, so.
Doesn't matter. When something's funny, it stays.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the longevity of it still surprises me, but it makes sense. Like, that's just magic.
One of my favorite parts is, like, for your video, you've got just one of the most excellent intro songs I've ever heard. When it rains, hit Frank Leapor's.
Yeah, actually, a reader, Dylan Grossman, said, "Hey, man, I made this song about you." And so I checked it out. It was uploaded to SoundCloud. And it was literally just a 3-minute rap. Like, it was actually very well done. It was well produced. And it was basically just about me as a Magic player. And so it's on YouTube, actually. You can search Frank Leapor intro, and it'll show up. But yeah, he wrote that like 2 years ago, and I've just kept it ever since because it was such a cool gesture.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, people can have an opportunity to check stuff out. Appreciate you taking the time to sit down here and talk to me, Frank. And looks like you've got things going in the right direction. Go to rally that team and bring them back from the depths. So, Ben, thanks for sitting down with an interview here with Frank Leapor.
Hey guys, welcome back to the booth here at the Community Cup. We are in Renton. This is the home of Wizards of the Coast. We're in the headquarters. We're sitting in one of the conference rooms broadcasting here. The whole teams and everything are on the other side. But you too can play along at home. We have a pretty cool event on Magic Online that's sort of running concurrent to what we're doing here.
Yeah, today's event, companion event, I guess, is an R&D challenge. So 8-10 guys from R&D, guys and gals actually, are going to be joining up for a vintage constructed event. It starts in about half an hour. So if you're out there, hop onto Magic Online. You can join the R&D challenge. It starts in about half an hour. It's super sweet prize structure. And in addition to the already sweet prizes, any prizes that Wizards would win just get redistributed back to the people who've done well in the event. So yeah, there you get the details.
It is a high-value proposition.
Indeed.
I would be in this tournament if I weren't working at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, even if you
I
don't have
my
a
laptop
power,
sitting right here. Like, I could theoretically. It's been